I am your president of law and order.
Let's talk about the far right.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Some hear his words as a call to action.
You'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
Invade the Capitol building.
Do the right thing.
Take the Capitol.
They're loyalists who heed the leader's words.
Omar has a history of launching vicious anti-Semitic screeds.
And follow their every move to a T. We have seen these movements rise in Italy once again with the election of Giorgia Meloni. India continuing to elect Narendra Modi, who has waged a war against Muslims, clinging to a deeply popular version of Hindu nationalism. Argentinians believing Javier Milei was the right choice, with demonstrations taking place outside Congress. Brazil leaving Bolsonaro behind, but for how long? And of course, stateside, the potential re-election of Donald Trump appearing more and more likely.
Qu'on me donne une raison, une seule, pour garder sur notre territoire des étrangers qui collaborent avec une idéologie totalitaire qui veut la mort des Français.
Now France is at the center of the discussion with far-right darling Marine Le Pen. She has championed all the talking points expected of a figure placed in this position, following the footsteps of her father, Jean-Marie Le Pen, who has a troubling history of his own. When 6 million Jewish people were killed by the Schmazis, the man who founded Front National was kicked out after describing the Holocaust as a detail of history. The elder Le Pen saw an opportunity to target the France national team, suggesting there are too many players of color in the squad, adding France cannot recognize itself in the national side, and that maybe the coach exaggerated the proportion of players of color and should have been a bit more careful. He kept on with the attacks when France, led by Zinedine Zidane of Algerian descent and star forward Thierry Henry, won the World Cup. Marine has simply followed suit.
And in fact, his daughter, Marie Le Pen, who's now a popular politician in the right wing in France, as late as 2010 said that she was worried about immigrants being on the French national team because they have, quote, another nationality in their hearts.
It's because this is what their party clings to, bigotry masquerading as a policy position in the form of immigration. She railed against Karim Benzema when the ex-Real Madrid man claimed manager Didier Deschamps crumbled to pressure of racists in the country. She'd say, I find the declaration scandalous. I'm not surprised Mr. Benzema hides his wickedness behind a violent charge against the French people. Benzema is an easy target for Le Pen and co., as he too is of Algerian descent. In addition, Marine went after French citizens with dual citizenship, saying, and I quote, they must choose. They are Algerian or French, Moroccan or French. They can't be both. And like her father, she made outrageous comments in regards to the Holocaust. She'd suggest France was not responsible for the wartime roundup of Jews who were sent to Schmazi death camps. According to Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Museum in Jerusalem, some 1,000 Jews were deported to Auschwitz every 2 or 3 days in the 2 months following the arrest at Veldihiv. Nearly 38,000 Jews had been deported to Auschwitz from France by the end of September 1942. By 1945, just 780 of them remained alive. Now the team and Le Pen are at the center of France again. After President Emmanuel Macron surprisingly called for new elections 3 years ahead of schedule, which takes place over 2 rounds on June 30th and July 7th, Le Pen's party is eyeing the seizure of control. Like the influence of Marine from Jean-Marie, Zinedine Zidane did influence one of France's biggest stars today.
On sait qu'on est dans un moment très important de l'histoire de notre pays, une situation inédite. Donc c'est pour ça que j'ai vraiment envie de m'adresser à tout le peuple français et surtout à la jeune génération.
It's superstar Kylian Mbappe.
Je pense qu'on est une génération qui peut faire la différence. Aujourd'hui, on voit très bien que les extrêmes sont aux portes du pouvoir et on a l'opportunité de choisir le futur de notre pays. Et c'est pour ça que j'appelle à tous les jeunes d'aller voter, de vraiment prendre conscience de l'importance de la situation.
Of course, his stance was not welcomed by members of Le Pen's National Rally Party. Go figure. Sebastian Chenu, the vice president of the RN, carried out a similar attack we have seen from many politicians. He'd say just prior to France's opening match at the Euros, when you have the chance, the honor of wearing the jersey of the French team, you have to show a little restraint. The Telegraph would add that Chenu suggested that the country's national football hero stick to his own lane and stay out of politics, and that the French do not need people who are very far removed from their daily concerns to come and tell them how to vote. This came as 160 French athletes signed an open letter to insist on rejecting Le Pen and the like from taking more power. One of those names, a national team player, Marcus Thuram, the son of Lilian, who was targeted by Le Pen's father years back.
On a besoin de s'identifier à nos valeurs qui sont des valeurs de mixité, de tolérance, de respect. Et ça, c'est indéniable.
So we have seen this play out over and over and over again. Politics for me, for the right, none for thee. If you agree, then there's no problem. Because I would guarantee, as we have seen time and time again, if Kylian Mbappe came out and spoke up for Marine Le Pen, imagine the pedestal that they would put him on. Instead, he is using his voice for the greater good and telling the youth of the extremism with the correct word in place, no matter how much they may despise it, and the threat that these people face.